Alright guys, welcome to another range day. I've actually really been looking forward to this one. We're going to be shooting the Sig Sauer MPX. Now, as I've mentioned before, pistol caliber carbines are easily my favorite types of guns to shoot, and while my favorite PCCs can shift pretty frequently, the Sig MPX has been a consistent favorite of mine for a long time. Now, there are a lot of reasons for that, and we're going to talk about them, but one of the biggest reasons is modularity and versatility. Alright, so this gun started its life as an MPX Gen 2 pistol with the 8-inch barrel and the 8-inch key mod handguard. I added a pistol brace and an inled we trust 13.5mm tri-lug adapter, and I ran it like that for quite some time. And then a couple of years ago, I filed a Form 1, converted it to an SBR, and since then I've had a ton of fun trying out various different setups with it. Alright, so you'll see here I have multiple different stock setups. The 1913 Picatinny rail on the rear of the gun makes swapping stocks very quick and easy. I'm a big fan of Sig's collapsible stock that I have installed right now, but I also love their adjustable folding stock and the minimalist folding stock that you see here also. Now beyond that, changing handguards and barrels on the MPX is far easier than the average PCC platform. So the barrel is held in place here by 2 screws that are torqued to spec. I swapped out the original 8-inch barrel and replaced it with the currently attached 4.5-inch tri-lug barrel from Inled We Trust. I didn't even have to adjust my zero very much, which is incredible. I also have multiple different handguards for various setups that I like to run. So when I'm running the 4.5-inch barrel unsuppressed, I like to have the 4-inch M-LOK handguard that you see installed here. And when I run it suppressed with the Dead Air Wolfman in both short and long configurations, I like using the Midwest Industries 8 and 10-inch M-LOK handguards respectively, which allows me to run the Wolfman on the Inled We Trust tri-lug barrel tucked underneath the handguard with very little of the suppressor sticking out. So we're going to be showing multiple configurations in action today, but before we get to the range, let's talk a little bit about the other changes that I made real quick. So starting at the back, I added the Radian ambidextrous extended charging handle. I added the single stage MPX Timney Trigger, which comes standard in current generation MPXs, I believe, and is simply phenomenal, honestly. It's easily the best PCC trigger that I've ever used. I've got a Sig Romeo 4H red dot, which has both red dot and circle dot reticle options. As previously mentioned, I swapped my 8-inch barrel out for the 4.5-inch Inled We Trust tri-lug barrel. I didn't have any issues with the 8-inch barrel. I love it, honestly, but I wanted to be able to have a shorter package with a countersunk suppressor, so that's why I made that change. You can't really see it here, but I also added the Inled We Trust adjustable gas plug, which allows me to tune the gas to the ammo that I'm using. The ammo that I use, I found that the lowest setting above off works great for me. Finally, for fun today, I'm going to be trying out the Angstead Arms Blast Wave for the first time on my MPX. You may have seen this in my KP9 video. It's a tri-lug muzzle device that sends the blast from the end of the barrel down range and directs it away from the shooter. 9mm really doesn't have a lot of blast, but I thought it did a pretty good job with the KP9, and I need something on the end of the muzzle to extend the blast past the handguard where my hand is resting. Sometimes I use an A2 flash hider like the one you see here, but today I'm going to try this out and see how it does. So we're going to be showing multiple configurations in action today. The first one that we're going to start with here is a 4.5 inches unsuppressed, and then the same 4.5-inch barrel, but suppressed with the Wolfman in short configuration and an 8-inch M-LOK handguard. And then lastly, the 4.5-inch tri-lug barrel again with the Wolfman in full configuration using the 10-inch M-LOK handguard. I'll be swapping stocks as well just to show those different configurations also. All right, so that's what I got going on with my MPX. Let's get it out to the range, try a few different configurations, and see how it does. All right, so what I want to do here is I want to compare suppressed to unsuppressed in all 3 configurations. So I'm going to do 3 shots slow fire, letting the trigger reset audibly, starting with unsuppressed, and then I'm going to do 3 shots suppressed in the short configuration of the Wolfman, and then 3 shots in the long configuration of the Wolfman. So let's start it out. Let's see how it goes. All right, guys, I absolutely love this gun. I know I mentioned earlier that the MPX has been a consistent favorite of mine, so let's talk a little bit about why. So to start off, the short stroke gas piston system in the MPX makes it really soft shooting and fast back on target. It's easier to control under rapid fire than most of the guns that I own, so that's honestly a huge part of it. It also gives the MP5 a run for its money when it comes to how quiet it is suppressed. I mean, honestly, it's truly incredible. I know a lot of people have talked in the past about excessive gas with the MPX when running it suppressed, but I've honestly never experienced that. I think a lot of it comes down to ammo choice. So if you're using hot not supersonic ammo, then yes, there's a good chance that you're going to experience some gas, specifically coming from the charging handle area. But with good quality, low power factor subsonic ammo, in my experience, the MPX is a complete dream to shoot. Now, in my specific example, the adjustable gas plug I've installed in the In Lead We Trust barrel likely plays a factor, but I've never had issues with my 8-inch stock barrel either, for what it's worth. Then there's the Timney MPX trigger. This trigger is simply incredible. It's single stage, there's no creep, it's super crisp break, and a really short and tactile reset. It's phenomenal, and it makes accuracy and speed very simple to achieve. My trigger figure was honestly a little bit off today, but that was me, that was not the gun. And then there's just the ergonomics and the modularity. I mean, I already talked extensively about the modularity. Changing stocks and handguards and even barrels in the field is easier than just about any other platform. And when you change handguards, you don't have to change your optic, and any zero adjustments with barrel changes will be minimal. Ergonomics wise, it feels and runs a lot like an AR-15, but with great ambidextrous controls, so it's very familiar and very well executed in that regard. Now, as for the handguards, a lot of people feel the handguards on the MPX are larger than necessary, and they'd prefer something a little bit thinner. While they definitely are larger than they need to be, I've grown to really like well done oversized handguards because honestly I have fairly large hands. I can get a really nice firm grip on them. And then in the case of the Sig handguards, especially with the Midwest Industries handguards, it makes countersinking a suppressor, even one as big as the Wolfman, easy, and I love the efficiency of that type of setup. As for the configurations here, which one's my favorite? I'll tell you right off the bat, my least favorite is running unsuppressed with the 4-inch handguard. For my style of shooting, honestly, I really like being able to extend my support hand out further along the handguard to control the muzzle rise. And so the 8-inch configuration and the 10-inch configuration suppressed just run absolutely beautifully for me. I think probably my favorite overall is going to be the 8-inch handguard with the short suppressor because it's still very quiet, but it's also really handy and it's really easy to control. As for the stocks, honestly, I like them all. They're all really comfortable, but definitely the best cheek weld is the adjustable folding stock, which is honestly a shame because I don't think they make this stock anymore, and I really love this stock, so it really stinks to see that go. But other than that, I mean, the minimalist stock is great. It's comfortable on the shoulder, and it's got a decent enough cheek weld. The worst cheek weld goes to the collapsible stock, but it's really comfortable in the shoulder, and with the recoil of the MPX being so minimal, it really doesn't bother me at all, honestly. All right, and then lastly, I really love the built-in QD points. I was using the one right underneath the back there. It's right into the frame of the receiver, which is just awesome. I wish more companies did this. It makes it so easy to connect and disconnect my Savvy Sniper sling. Many pistol caliber carbines and rifles that I get, I need to try to find an aftermarket option, but with the MPX, it's ready to go from the factory, so that's great. Honestly, I know I'm harping on it here. I'm really passionate about this gun. I can't say enough good things about it. It's far from the most exotic gun that I own, but it's easily one of my absolute favorites when it comes to strictly the shooting experience. The only negative thing that I can say about the MPX, and honestly, this is a pretty mild thing, but Sig's anodizing process on their receivers is pretty poor, leaves a little bit to be desired. They scratch extremely easily. I personally don't really care about scratches. My guns aren't safe queens. I bring them out as often as I can, but that sort of thing does matter to some people, especially for the prices that you have to pay today to get an MPX. I think they could do a better job there, honestly. Otherwise, guys, as I said earlier, pistol caliber carbines are my favorite guns to shoot. They suppress really well with subsonic ammo. You can shoot steel up close, and the best PCCs have really low recoil and fast target acquisition in compact and ergonomic packages. So we're gonna have a lot more PCC videos coming soon, as well as ARs, shotguns, and yes, more AKs. So remember to like and subscribe, stay tuned, and thanks for stopping by.